Our feature today: FPJ movies, 1974 to 1979. 1974. Movies of FPJ. FPJ made only 3 movies in 1974. The King's first released movie in 1974 was Sanctuario. Story of a man, FPJ, living peacefully in the countryside, gets tangled with the landowner's son and heir, Romy Diaz, when Selmo, FPJ, refused to sell his land to Lamberto, Romy Diaz. This movie won 3 major awards: Best Actor for Fernando Poe Jr., Best Drama and Best Cinematography, and directed by Rudy Meyer. FPJ 1974 next movie was Batyat Palu Palo. First movie together of FPJ and Vilma Santos. Story of rich heiress who disguised as a slowly washerwoman in order to find out for herself the true meaning of love. It was released on May 4, 1974, and directed by Pablo Santiago. FPJ third movie in 1974, Ong Pangalan, Mediavillo. True story of Sergeant Mediavillo walking alone in some dark alley, goes about his job as a daring detective. Introducing Lorna Tolentino as younger sister of Mediavillo. The movie was released on June 23, 1974, under the direction of Armando Herrera. 1976 FPJ movies. Ong Leon at Ong Daga. The King Meet the Wonder Boy. The movie was blockbuster hit that saw the birth of a child superstar in the person of Nino Mulak. A New Year offering of FPJ for 1976. Released on January 1, 1976 and directed by Armando Herrera. Alak Dang Gubbit. Story of a young man from the countryside. Rescues his lady friend from a difficult situation and exacts vengeance upon those who have caused it. Released on May 7, 1976. Directed by Armando Herrera. Bato Sa Buhangan. A romantic comedy drama film directed by Pablo Santiago. FPJ and Vilma Santos' second screen teamed up following the success of Batyat Palu Palo in 1974. The film was released by FPJ Production on August 13, 1976. The story evolves on Rafael, FPJ, and Bomba, Vilma Santos, after their vehicles collided each other. Bomba suddenly finds herself irritably falling in love with Rafael. The only hurdle to Bomba and Rafael's love story, though, is the secret Bomba has been keeping from everybody all her life, even to her beloved Rafael. Will this secret ruin the chance of Bomba to be with her fated partner? Andalusia. The movie was produced by Elie Productions. Who seeks refuge in a monastery in the secluded town of Andalusia. He blamed himself for the death of his brother and isolates himself from the tragic past. The movie, directed by Ronaldo Reyes, was shot entirely in Ilocos Norte and starred beauteous Gloria Diaz, their first movie together. Fernando Poe Jr., 1977 FPJ movies. Nagbabagang Asaro. Story of a simple man who will do everything just to give his family a good life. Laha and klaseng trabaho I kanyang papasukin just to provide the needs of his family. Until one day when he returned home, a tragedy shocked him when he found his family lifeless. And the only weapon he can use to give justice to his family was his Nagbabagang Asaro. This movie was the first offering of FPJ for 1977, released on January 7th of the same year, and directed by Armando Herrera.
Tutubing kalabaw, tutubing karayom.
Starring Fernando Poe Jr. and Dincio Padilla, play provincianos, who come to the big city to look for proverbial pot of gold. But unfortunately find themselves lost in a bus terminal. One of the highlight of the movie is the song number of FPJ and Nino Mulak. Under FPJ Productions, directed by Armando Herrera. Released on February 18, 1977. Totally Bateau. Date released March 25, 1977. Cast with FPJ are Paquito Diaz, Lita Vasquez, Vanda Leon, Dincio Padilla, Vic Diaz, Lito Anzurez, Nello Neo, June Gamboa, and Max Laurel. Story by Carlo J. Caparas. Directed by Abraham Cruz. Bontoc. FPJ in the role of Lumawin, a halt breed. Fights for the rights of a cultural minority in Bontoc. The film is about the struggles and aspirations of an ethnic group to preserve their traditions and identity. Released on August 12, 1977. Directed by Pablo Santiago. Tundo, Isla Puting Bateau. Story of the bitter and hard life of an escaped convict and a prostitute. It is essentially about the brutalization of a man by his environment. The movie was released on November 4, 1977. Directed by Cesar Gallardo. Little Christmas Tree. First day shooting of this movie, FPJ was in Balanao, Pangasinan, shooting his third Metro Manila Film Festival offering, Ang Lalaki, Ang Alamat, Ang Baril. And FPJ couldn't be around to welcome Nora Honor, and it was Susan Rosas who welcomed her. For FPJ's part, he sent 2 dozens of long-stemmed red American roses from Balanao. And when FPJ arrived in Manila, he gave present to Nora of 1 lechon from the farm of Poe in Pililla, Rizal. The movie was released on November 25, 1977, and directed by Pablo Santiago. FPJ 1978 released movies. Ang Lalaki, Ang Alamat, Ang Baril. An action-adventure film about a peaceful man who sets out in a mission of revenge against the people responsible for his family's misfortunes. The 1978 Filipino movie is directed by Armando A. Herrera and has Fernando Poe Jr., Marianne de la Riva, and Susan Valdez-Lagaff in lead roles. Date released January 3, 1978. Upang. This was FPJ's second outing with Hilda Coronel. The two appeared together for the first time in Leah Productions' Santiago, where Miss Coronel in her teens played the role of bomb blast victim. Upang, 1978, stars Fernando Poe Jr., Hilda Coronel, Tina Monasterio, Paquito Diaz, Lito Legaspi, Vanda Leon, Dencio Padilla, Renato Robles, Nello Neo, Vin Medina, Victor Bravo, Vic Varian, and directed by Pablo Santiago. The movie was released on March 10, 1978. Patian Si Mediavillo. Police Officer Mediavillo, portrayed by Fernando Poe Jr., finds himself pursued by multiple assassins, instigated by a prominent businessman who happens to be the brother of the drug dealer, accidentally died at the hand of Mediavillo. Directed by Armando Herrera. Released on June 29, 1978. MGA Mata and I Angelita. MGA Mata and I Angelita begins powerfully with a confrontation scene between real husband and wife, Amado Cortez, Tio Arturo, and Gloria Sevilla, Taya Belen, fighting over Julie Vega, Angelita. The guy wants to let the blind girl stay, but the wife would have none of it. The confrontation develops into something more terrible as Arturo dies when he got hit by a vehicle. Fuming mad, Belen threw Angelita over a cliff. She was later found by a group of nuns. Angelita got her sight when the Virgin Mary bestowed her own eyes upon the poor girl. She then went through many adventures when she went looking for her mother. She also touched many lives and hearts along the way. A star-studded film featuring a blind orphan named Angelita, Julie Vega, who was found unconscious by a group of nuns after Belen, Gloria Sevilla, attempted to kill her by letting her walk straight ahead on the edge of a cliff. In the monastery, she starts her deep devotion to Virgin Mary. In the convent, which was last seen missing her pair of eyes, Angelita starts to search for her parents, and along the way she touches various lives, both poor and rich, until she finds her mother Janet, Helen Gamboa. Julie Vega was only 10 years old when she was launched to full stardom in the 1978 movie MGA Mata and I Angelita. She appeared in previous movie outings as Darling Postigo. The young Vega was ably supported by an all-superstar cast headed by the king of Philippine movies, Fernando Poe Jr., in the role of Conrado, the ex-convict, and comedy king Dolphy as Tasio, the Tejo vendor. Also appearing in cameo roles were Joseph Estrada as himself as mayor, Nora Honor, a Metroaid sweeper, Vilma Santos as a worried wife, Ramon Revilla as barrio captain, Alma Moreno as a jealous sweetheart, Christopher de Leon as the lover, and many more. The film ends with Angelita finding Helen Gamboa, Janet, who is, supposedly, her real mom, but we end up finding out on the second installment of MGA Mata and I Angelita that Janet's daughter was a different baby altogether. The movie was directed by Lauro Pacheco and released on August 11, 1978. King. King was the first movie of FPJ and Alma Moreno together. Also starring Vanda Leon, Paquito Diaz, Nello Neo, Victor Bravo, with Vic Varian and Max Laurel. The movie was released on October 12, 1978, and directed by FPJ himself using the name Ronaldo Reyes. Tatak Ing Tundo. Tatak Ing Tundo. Two childhood friends choose different paths in life. One believes in the principle of law and justice, and the other believes that only the ruthless survive. FPJ Productions. Release date December 8, 1978. Screenplay Pablo S. Gomez. Cinematography Ben Lobo. Music Hernani Cuenco. Direction Ronaldo Reyes. Cast Fernando Poe Jr., Joseph Estrada, Ana Marin, April Cesar / also starring Paquito Diaz, Vanda Leon, Anita Linda, Dencio Padilla, Nelo Neo, Victor Bravo, Vic Varian, Virginia Montez, Vin Medina, Bentot Jr. with the special participation of Divina Valencia. The 1979 movies of FPJ. At Muling Nagbaga ang Lupa, 1979. Under FPJ Productions. Release date May 4, 1979. Screenplay Fred Navarro. Cinematography Ben Lobo. Music Hernani Cuenco. Direction Ronaldo Reyes. Starring Fernando Poe Jr., Beth Bautista. Also starring Vanda Leon, Paquito Diaz, Vic Diaz, Dencio Padilla, June Gamboa, and Carlos de Leon. Mahal Sanka Nanggaling Kagabi was a story of a man finds himself in a troubled marriage. When he realizes that his wife has a highly suspicious nature, he struggles to cope with his everyday life. Together again in this movie are real-life couple, Fernando Poe Jr. and Susan Rosas. Directed by Pablo Vergara. Date released June 21, 1979. Darujan Si Totoi Bato. Fernando Poe Jr. won his third FAMA's Best Actor award as a street fighter and brawler in this 1979 movie. Darujan Si Totoi Bato. The movie was based from a popular comic serial by Carlo J. Directed by Armando Herrera. Date released November 9, 1979. Starring with FPJ are Charo Santos, Julie Vega, June Gamboa, Roland Dantes, with Paquito Diaz, Vic Diaz, Rule Vernal, Nelo Neo, Victor Bravo, Vic Varian, Max Laurel, and Anita Linda. Mahal Janagabi Ka na Naman. Sequel to Mahal, San Ka Nanggaling Kagabi. Johnny, the loving and obedient husband of Luding, must juggle family life and battle bad guys in the neighborhood. Under FPJ Productions. Directed by Pablo Vergara. Date released December 7, 1979. Ang Lihim in Guadalupe. Story of the wife and child of Dr. Guzman, a military officer, are killed in an ambush which he survives. Guzman exacts revenge on the people who killed his family by hunting them down one at a time. Ang Lihim in Guadalupe, 1979. Under FPJ Productions. Official entry to the 5th Metro Manila Film Festival. Release date December 25, 1979. Story Pablo S. Gomez. Screenplay Fred Navarro. Music Hernani Cuenco. Direction Armando A. Herrera. Cast Fernando Poe Jr., Tina Monasterio, Yvette Christine, Paquito Diaz, Lito Anzarez, Vic Diaz, Bentot Jr., Romy Diaz, and Max Alvarado. What is your favorite FPJ movie? Please stay tuned to our channel for more reminiscing memories of FPJ. Thank you for watching.